things that has the touch of a military stuff. But beyond all of that, like I said earlier, I congratulate Nigerians, but it is not rule. My brief summary about the president's speech is that it's a speech that is full of twists and turns, and there is nothing sharing about it at all. Going by the 4 prisms within which we can look at the issue. We're looking at the economy, we're looking at security, we're looking at social contracts, and above all, even the safety of our democratic institution. Because the democracy we have today, in very many ways, have been subjected to a lot of threats by institutions, by same government institutions who are supposed to maintain a certain separation, as it were. So within these 4 prisms, it is a twist and turn. There is nothing sharing about it.
Wow.
There's nothing sharing about that news. There's nothing sharing about the president's speech.
No, so it's not encouraging at all for Nigerians.
There's nothing sharing about it.
Okay, Pastor Gidegbe, what's your own thoughts on all of this? Do you toe the same line with Matthew?
Not at all. First, let me congratulate Nigerians for this Democracy Day that have come to stay. It's 21 solid years of unbroken democracy, the longest we have ever had in the history of Nigeria since independence, dating back to 1960. So it's a good news for me, and I believe so many Nigerians out there will share this day. And you will agree with me also that this is the first time, when Mr. President made that declaration last year that every 12th, June 12th every year will be Democracy Day as against May 29. So for me, it's a paradigm shift. So we must give it to this government for standing by their word they made last year. Coming from there, I will also say that we are not where we ought to be, but certainly we are not where we used to be as a nation. No doubt about it.
Have we moved forward?
We've moved because...
I really but things improved.
No, we've moved because that's why I use the phrase that we are not where we ought to be, but we are not also where we used to be. So drawing from there, I would say that the president's speech is full of hope for me. He's been able to outline some of their milestone achievements so far. We may not, be intent with it altogether, but there is no gainsaying the fact that there are some of those points that are valid today. As we dissect the speech, we are going to point them out as we progress. But to also say that, life outside hope is no life. So that is why I believe that there is high hope in what, this president has just reeled out to Nigerians in the 40-minute speech that he has just, broadcast to Nigerians. So I want to also be upbeat that, no doubt, bearing different misgiving here and there on some of the things that have not worked as they should be, but there are some that have worked largely. So I would like to hang it on that first.
Some work largely, but not all of them.
Yes.
Looking at security, which is a big threat today, and to us as a people and as a nation, do you think that they've done well as regards security?
Well, for me, security, we have not done well. We have not done well because
if you're saying that we have moved,
yes.
Looking at security, I don't think that we have really moved, because security now is even getting worse than before.
No,
the rate of kidnapping, the killings here and there, and all of those, people are not
viewing security in perspective. When this government of APC came on stream in 2015, between 2015 and 2016, there was a great milestone that was achieved in terms of trying to reclaim some of those cities that were taken over by Boko Haram, towards the exit of the Goodluck administration. No doubt about that. But from 2016, 2017, that achievement nosedived, and they've been finding it difficult to, come back, to steam again. So that's why I said security have not been upbeat as it should be, because the campaign of Mr. President prior to 2015 was centered largely on security.
And given a frame time that within 4 months or thereabouts, it will be a thing of the past.
So when you weigh it on that, you will say that you agree with me that nothing has really, moved in that regard. But also, some of those cities that were captured by Boko Haram, many of them were reclaimed, but the recent onslaught leaves much to be desired. For me, especially when I saw small Chad, dealt a decisive blow on, the Boko Harams early the first quarter of this year.
And they were serious about it.
Very serious. And I thought that within the next 24, 25 hours, Nigerian troops would have just gone there to mop up whatever is there, clear the place. It took a whole lot of time, dilly-dallying, taking 10 steps forward, 20 backward, and all of that. Today, we are still here talking about insecurity in the highest of it. For me, security has not been dealt with as it should be.
Okay.
For instance, Mr. President is a retired general who understands security more than any other person, as it should be. But not much of that is being put to bear in terms of getting rid of this insurgency across. That is just on the Boko Haram aspect. Not to talk of the banditry and the herdsmen terrorizing the whole country today. So too many things to talk about insecurity. Too many things to talk about it. Thank you.
Sashikuri.
Well, first, let me
just make you understand that shortly at 8 o'clock we'll be having a call from Abuja, and then when that call comes in, we're going to take on Honorable Ben Ibakba, representing Ethiopia Federal Constituency, to talk to us too as regards issues in Nigeria and of course the way forward. Yes, Mr. Ashikuri.
Yes, in my opening remarks, I was careful in choosing my words, that I congratulated Nigerians on broken democracy of 21 years. But that there's nothing sharing about the president's speech this morning. It is not unexpected that the president will come and give a speech that has an underlying reason of hope for his citizens. But this has happened over time. There is no president who will take to the podium and come and give disparaging or to disparage himself or disparage his government before the eyes of the world or before the eyes of the people that elected him to power. But truth be told, that if you measure the performance of this administration, against the backdrop of the wings that brought them to power of change, which dovetailed into 3 critical areas: security, economy, and they talk about corruption and the fight against corruption,
which he mentioned too.
So for me, if we must be very honest, because we are here not to criticize, we are here to give constructive opinion as to how best or where we are. It is true that we have never been where we ought to be, not particularly about this government. Now I decided to take the issue of security first as my major point. A few weeks ago, to be very precise, sometime last week, I think Monday or thereabout, the chief of staff came to Aso Rock, probably to come and brief the president on their success story, on the supposed success story of the Boko Haram fight. That within a period of 1 month, they had eliminated well over 1,400 and some figures, some fractions, Boko Haram elements. Within this same period where he had claimed success, Boko Haram carried the attacks of 102 attacks within the same period to army bases in various communities within the northeast, within Borno State. Recall that before the 2015 elections, President Jonathan administration pushed these Boko Haram members away from virtually every area they have held captive. We must give that credit to President Jonathan. And we have thought that governance is a continuum process. We have thought that when this government came, it will have sustained that tempo, and by now this issue will have been a thing of the past. At least it is known that the issue of herdsmen and banditry was never on the front burner.
No.
Within this same period under review, bandits and the issues of herdsmen farmers clash and all of that, came to the front burner and almost consumed, that made different state governments to devise strategies within which to come. And so for me,
now even the House of Reps even saying that they should stop foreign heads.
Yes, from coming. So it is a critical matter that we must be honest enough to say, because, like I said, no president or no governor will come and give disparaging statements to his citizens. You must give messages of hope. And so it is not unexpected that the president has come out with messages, with a speech that is filled with, that has underlying elements of hope, as it were. But that does not take away the fact that we have never been where we ought to be. And that is the basic truth. Now, a president gives a statement, and there are conflicting reactions. Between you and I, the 40-minute speech today can best be described as twist and turns, like I said earlier. Why I say so is because I do not see, there is nothing that suggests to me clearly that we are going somewhere. Because you fabricate a solution, and if you fabricate one solution, you have more than 100 detractors that are challenging that solution of yours. And that's exactly why I'm saying that it is a matter of twist and turn.
He talked about job creation, and that they are going to give a great job for our youths. About 1,000 slots has been created, and it's going to cut across all communities.
Is he talking about the job creation of that they said each local government, that the one that Festus Kiyamo is talking about, that they are going to employ 774,000, 1,000 per local government, that translates to like 1,000 per local government, and that it's going to be the first instance is going to be for first 3 months at 20,000. That's balbadash. That's balbadash. And you are talking about economy. Has our economy ever grown?
But he said it has
grown. So I can't get
it. From 1.9% 2018, and it's going to about 2.something% now.
What's that?
The economy, GDP has grown.
Look,
let us come out of recession.
Let us
we are moving on.
Leave all of these semantics. What is on the ground? The reality on the ground, does it translate to what we are seeing?
What is going to come to support agriculture? Is going to be
the support of agriculture. The support of agriculture. The new lease of life that was breathed into the life of agriculture started in the administration of President Jonathan under Akinwumi Additional, all right, the present president of the AFDB, and unfortunately they did not even sustain in total. They took part of those policies that suits their purpose. I give credit to Mr. President for recognizing credence, for recognizing credibility, for recognizing good work, by also promoting that man higher to the next level. At least if he didn't support the nomination, I'm sure the man will have it. And secondly, as we speak, he's also supporting a second-term nomination, even though the man is experiencing some kind of drawbacks and all of that. So I commend the president for at least giving recognition to credibility. But that is not to say that all is well. It is not to say by any standard that all is well as far as this administration is concerned. Measuring performance within the prison of the security fight corruption.
We just hold it one moment there. Still talking about democracy and issues concerning Nigeria. We have Honorable Ben Ibakba on the line, representing East Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, calling from Abuja. Hello, Honorable Ben. Good morning. Happy Democracy Day.
Good morning. Happy Democracy Day.
All right.
Of you in Delta, Nigeria.
Okay. Thank you so much for wishing all of us a happy Democracy Day today. Today marks 1 year in office for you as representing Ethiopia Federal Constituency. So can you tell us how it's been so far?
Well, it's been an exciting journey from the electionary process had a very turbulent few months during the litigation, and we set the ball rolling strongly in the after the victory, and it's been wonderful. It's a familiar terrain, though, judging from my experience at the State House of Assembly. It's been smooth. I must say it's been smooth. But again, it's a larger water, it's a larger environment. You have to network, you have to. The processes are not just as easy as it is back there at the state level, but in a similar terrain, I think it's smooth. It's pretty well.
Okay. You're representing your people, 80 federal constituency, right there in Abuja. I know that there are so many things that need to be done. And today, Democracy Day, the president has just spoken to Nigerians. From what